Happy Sunday and welcome back to Creative Sour Club. Yes, we are in English now, and yes, we are very happy about it. I was so looking forward to this episode to welcome our first international guest in this new season, Season 3. Our guest moved across the big pond from Canada to Europe and gives us real insight into this amazing journey that just started for her. Welcome, Annabel Von Teichman.
Welcome to Creative's Hour Club, the podcast that shows the side of creative work nobody posts about, with your host, Dominic C.
Sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch.
That's already a good start into this episode, I guess, because you're not from Europe, actually, originally. I mean, your family is what I picked up, but you're from Canada.
Correct.
How this came about that you're moving to Europe, and what did you do before that?
These are big questions. Well, before that, I was living in Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada, and that's where I grew up. So, as you said, all of my grandparents are German, and then they moved to Canada in World War II, and my parents met in Canada and decided to stay there. But I have a lot of relatives that came back to Germany. And so that's kind of the reason why I wanted to go to Germany, is because I have a bit of a home base there already with lots of cousins. It was either that or New York, because I wanted something bigger. I was craving a big city. I was craving a change, something new in life. And so ended up deciding with Germany. But before, I was working at the Ottawa Heart Institute, which is one of the biggest research institutes for your cardiovascular health in Ottawa. Working there, climbing my way up, and just working my regular 9-to-5 job until I kind of came to a point where I was coming back to Ottawa, realizing, this is my home, and you should really feel some sort of peace and ease and excitement when you go back home. And that's definitely important to me because I love a routine. So going home and having my morning workout class, going to work, meal prepping, all of these things, these are super important to me. And I came to realize it was actually this one time I was visiting my sisters in British Columbia, where they live, and the rest of my family lives in Ottawa. And I was on the flight and I just landed back in Ottawa, and I remembered this feeling, like this super strong gut feeling of, this isn't it. Like I need a change. I need a big change. Ottawa's just, there's so many amazing parts to it, and I had an amazing life, and I have an amazing life there still when I go back. But there was just something that was really craving more. So that's sort of a general where I was and why Germany, I guess.
So you're already here like 2 years, right?
Almost 2 years in October.
Are you already possible to like make comparisons to like people living in Europe, or also like how the whole creative economy works, or the people are working in this branch in Europe compared to Canada or maybe US too?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ottawa, for one, is a government-run city, and so that's the capital of Canada. And one thing that I was personally craving, and that I've noticed a big difference, is that I was craving not necessarily that there aren't ambitious people in Ottawa. Don't get me wrong. I love Ottawa. I love the people. But I myself was really wanting to surround myself with people that were striving for more in their career. Whereas I find a lot of people in Ottawa, at least the people that I was surrounded by, really just wanted to get to a point where they have a really good pension and then they can enjoy their retirement. And it was not so much about enjoying and striving in their everyday work, but more about the end goal future. And for me, that was just a really big difference and something that I wanted to change from, because I was really striving to do really well in my job, in my role, climb that ladder. I got my MBA because I was really striving to get to a certain point in my career. But I came to a point where I realized I wasn't really enjoying the everyday anymore. I was more so looking at this future, and I was like, oh, okay, one day I'm going to have the house and the car and the family and all these things, all
We've
these
all
like
been there, yeah.
sure. And but that's kind of when it also clicked, and I was like, I have bigger, deep down goals of maybe starting something myself one day, and I just wanted to surround myself with more of an entrepreneurial mindset, I guess, and a different creative shift in people. And that's something that I've really noticed since moving to Europe. Everybody that I've met since being in Hamburg, at least, is so incredibly creative and driven and ambitious, and they are doing things that they love, they're passionate about, they want to work, and they have their side hobbies or side passions that they're working towards. And it's, yeah, maybe they're, working as an engineer or whatever corporate job they have, but they're ambitious about it. They're not looking towards their retirement. They're looking to enjoy their everyday in their work, and they're trying to find little sideways, side hobbies and side quests of how they can really enjoy this life and make it fulfilling. So that's a huge difference, I would say. I think it depends where you go. If you go to Toronto, it's a bigger city. You might find more people in this mindset. I would say in the States as well, there's definitely a larger growth mindset. But I wasn't finding that for myself as much in Ottawa. And that's what I wanted to surround myself by, because not that you can't do that
Mm.
in Ottawa, but it's encouraging and motivating to hear other people that are striving and going through some similar struggles when wanting to open a business or start something new.
What
So,
I like, especially in Europe, is, I mean, in the US, you always see this like America thing, like big, big, big and stuff. And
yeah.
it's always like one American mindset. So because America is so big and stuff, but in Europe, you have a lot of like different cultures. Um,
Mm.
like also like next to each other. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, maybe Austria and Germany is, there are similarities, yeah, but not that much like Canada and the US, I guess. And
Mhm.
but then next to Austria is Italy, and then there's Switzerland, and then there's like Czech Republic and stuff. Yeah, so it's like very different, unique mindsets, and it's so easy to travel like 4 hours to Italy from Vienna, for example, and be in a completely different world, and then get new impressions and everything. I really like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've also been able to enjoy at the fullest, and going and meeting different people, their different mindsets, seeing their perspectives, and just stepping out from my bubble for a second and stop focusing on what my struggles are and what I'm focused on and where I am in my timeline and all these things that I have going on. Just for a second, just meet other people and kind of take a breath, take a chill pill, and just enjoy and get to know other people. It's just been one of the highlights, I would say. And that's really, yeah, also one of the driving factors to wanting to move to Europe is all of these different cultures, all the different people, all of the opportunities. You never know what's going to come of meeting someone,
Mm.
what impact that might have on your life. You never know what's going to happen and how that'll change your perspective. So I find it super exciting, and yeah, an exciting part of life.
You said something about like you wanted more, and you thought that this could be everything in life. Do you think, because this is a question I do ask myself all of the time, because I always want more and reach more and this and that. Do you think there's any cap on that? It's like the sky's the limit, I guess.
Yeah, it depends on the perspective, I guess, and the person. But um, I think I think that the cap is really subjective to that person and where they want to be and what their end goal is. And when you look at the bigger picture, is your end goal to make the maximum amount of money you can? Is it to build a business where is it to be able to simply sustain your life and have some freedom, or is it to be able to provide for a family, or what are your goals? And I think taking time to sit down and think about those things, because otherwise you can get so caught up in always wanting more. And I think that's something that's our culture, unfortunately, um, leans towards, especially if you think about that American dream. It's always about working and working and getting that pension and how much more money can I make and where can I end up if I continue. But there's always a cap. I think that you never want to keep going to the point where you burn out. And I think that's also something I was realizing when I was in Ottawa, and I was really driven. I started out volunteering at the Research Institute. And then from there, I became an administrative assistant. Then I became a business admin assistant. And then I was working for the senior director and the director of finance. And then I became HR. And then I went to becoming a project manager. And I was just like, I want to be the next biggest thing. I want to be the CEO of this hospital. Like as fast as I can. And so when I was chatting, I had a great conversation with the director of finance, and he was saying, if that's what you want, go get your MBA, like keep going. And I was like, done, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm ready. Like, this is what I want. I'm so driven and excited by doing work that has a purpose. And I really saw the value in the work that I was doing and the impact it had on care and running these organizations. So yeah, I got my MBA, but I was so driven that I did a 2-year MBA in 1 year at the same time as working full time at the Heart Institute. At the same time, I was also working at 2 different workout studios. So twice a week, I was teaching. And yeah, my days became pretty packed. But it's because I had this growth mindset to an extreme, I think. I was really pushing myself, and I didn't, the sky was the limit at the point. And I just wanted to be at the very top as fast as I could. So it took a moment of realization to say, where I stepped back and I was like, okay, first of all, this corporate life isn't for me, is what I came to realize, because I was striving so much and I was working so hard towards these big titles and this big paycheck. But then I had these meetings, and I remember these meetings with the senior director and director of finance, where I told them, okay, I'm now doing this and this. These are my roles and responsibilities as, a project manager. I want this next title with this pay. And I remember them coming back to me and saying, oh, like, I don't think we could do that. And so I had a second meeting, a follow-up, and I printed out the average salary of everyone with that title in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, internationally. And then I printed out what the job description entails. And I wrote out what my job description entails. And I went to this meeting and I was like, I'm not taking no for an answer. This is what I do. This is what it is. And in the end, they ended up giving it to me. But that's the breaking point when I realized, actually, I don't want to be in an environment where I have to prove myself over and over for the work that I'm doing in order to get recognition. So I felt that was a few months later, I ended up quitting this job after I got the title and the pay and all the things. And I was like, actually, I'd prefer to take all of the skills and knowledge that and the experience that I've had and do something of my own where, if I'm going to work overtime and I'm going to work all these crazy hours, I want to do it for myself and for something that I've built and that I'm passionate about, beyond this corporate ladder. And so I think realizing where the cap is an extremely important part of the journey, and what your end goal is. It's not necessarily about getting to the end goal. It's about enjoying every moment while you get there. But I think it's important to know, at what point will I be satisfied? Because it's super important.
The question is there any point to be satisfied though? I mean, for me, for example, it's always like going up and up and up. I mean, I reached the goal and I'm like, okay, I guess that's it now. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, but look at that. Huh? It's like, it's the next one and the next one and the next one. And then I always struggling with the thing is like, when it's enough, when I'm there, when is the point where I think, yeah, okay, now.
I think that's an internal dialogue that every person should have with themselves, because I think there are healthy goals, and I think that there are, it's good to strive and it's good to push yourself beyond, this comfortable box. And I would say even moving to Europe was that for me. It's not a comfortable decision. It was not easy. But I think it was something I really wanted to do as my next step, and I pushed myself to be out of my comfort zone. And so I think just having that internal dialogue, what's next for you and what is your cap, and keep it at a healthy level. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're sleeping well, you're eating well, you're exercising, you're doing all these things, and you're also striving for these goals, but never to a point where you lose your own balance and your own health. And yeah, so I think it's something that people really need to have a conversation with
Mhm.
themselves and see what that is.
Like you said, it's like, especially moving this far of a distance, and this different culture, I guess. Um, I, it's not that common that people are doing this, and it's not that easy. And then also, I think, to leave family behind and everything. Um,
Mm.
I guess there are still people in your life who are like worried about you. And who was the last person who told you they were worried about you, and what did you say back to them?
Ooh, great question. Probably actually, most recently, it was one of my best friends. She, we are so alike. We just traveled together and for 6 weeks in Portugal, where I was working, she was studying, and she said to me, Annabelle, like, what's your plan here? What's going on? Like, what are you going to be doing come the fall? Like, where are your next, source of income? What are your plans? What are your business plans? Where are you headed? What direction? And that's where we differ a lot, because she has this like really clear linear path and that she's on, and it's wonderful, and I'm super happy for her. And my life is the complete opposite. So but what I told her is, it's funny. I'm not I'm not worried. I'm not stressed. So when I moved to Europe, a bit of a backstory is I got a remote job, and I've been working this job until about April or May. Um, so when I was with her for those 6 weeks, I was doing this remote job. But the caveat is that I was also working 7 days a week for the last 2 years while doing this job. So I kind of left this whole crazy, work 24/7 lifestyle in Ottawa to kind of get back into it when I moved to Europe. And um, I guess I just lean in that direction. But that job came to an end. It was all sort of project and contract based. So it was coming to an end, and it came to an end in May. And a lot of people were very stressed out for me. And they're like, Annabelle, oh my gosh, like, what are you going to do? How are you going to survive? What's going to happen next? And the the funny thing is that I kind of had this crazy sense of peace and ease. And I was like, you know what? You don't need to worry about me. Like, I'm trusting the process. When one door closes, another door opens. Everything happens for a reason. I moved to Europe without a plan, and amazing things have happened. This job has opened tons of doors. I was able to travel at the same time, but it was also a lot. I went to the Olympics in Cortina, and I was waking up at 3 a.m. to work until 9 a.m. and get all my work done. I could do any hours as long as I worked every day, 7 days a week. So I would really be a workhorse, and I would work at night, be enjoying the day. And when friends would come and visit in Europe, I would do the same thing, wake up 4 a.m., whatever it needs to be, get all my work done. When they wake up, we have the whole day to spend together. So I went back into this crazy habit. So when the job ended and I had nothing lined up, it's like, you know what? It's all gonna work out. And if it means a few months of me I just want to enjoy, and something will come of it. The people you meet, the impact it has, it's beyond um your knowledge. So excuse me. But yeah, I think just this whole mindset, it's a mindset shift, really. It's not being afraid. It's about knowing that there's growth and that another door will open around the corner, and you just need to be open to receiving whatever is out there in this world that's meant for you. And
Mm.
so I think leaning into that mindset, that growth mentality, rather than scarcity and being afraid of what might happen or what the worst case scenario is, but what is what if the best case scenario occurs? What if you meet this person and then that happens and it snowballs? So I think that there are lots of people worried about me, my family at home, but at the same time, I think that they're also my greatest supporters, and they know that good things will come, and they know I have a good head on my shoulders, and that they have the same trust and good positive gut feeling. I think that's really important when you don't have a plan. It's just enjoying the journey, and that can be scary, but it can be exciting. So it's leaning into the right mindset and perspective.
Yeah, absolutely true. You also like not focusing on just one thing and one income stream. What I saw, but tell me otherwise, is you're doing like mentorship or guidance stuff. Also, you do like UGC brand deals, and
Mhm.
also you host like surf and sail retreats, right?
Yeah. And the craziest thing is that these things only came about once this job ended. I
Mm-hmm.
really truly believe sometimes something needs to end in order for something else to begin, and you don't know what's next, but you have to really just trust the process. So this job ended, and yeah, I was a little stressed out. It's like, okay, you know what? That's but deep down, I really wanted to, that had been delaying the business that I wanted to start and all these different things. It was taking up a lot of my time and energy 7 days a week. So then when that ended, it was only, I would say, 2 weeks later that
Mm-hmm.
my Instagram sort of boomed. I don't even know all the things about influencing, but I got 20K followers in 1 month, like something crazy. And from that, I had companies and brands reaching out to me saying, hey, can I send you this product and 300 euros to post this and that? Another company reached out to me, World Packers, saying, hey, would you be interested in hosting a retreat? And this is something that I've actually wanted to be doing for many, many years. I've been thinking about it. And especially because I teach Legree and Pilates, I was thinking about all these retreat opportunities and just never really had the time or to focus on it. And when they reached out to me, I was stoked. I said yes. I looked into what retreat options there were. I posted on my Instagram story asking if
Mm-hmm.
people would be interested in going on a retreat where I host. I'm not even a good surfer. That's the funny thing. I'm a terrible surfer. But I figured there must be other people in the same shoes as me that would love to get better at surfing or would love to learn a new sport. And so I kind of put it out there and I said, not, is anyone not great at surfing like me? And anybody want to join me on this retreat and learn? And I got tons of positive feedback. So hosting two surf retreats this fall, winter. So one in November and one in December, one in Portugal, one in the Canary Islands. I've never even been to the Canary Islands, but how cool is that? I think it's pretty amazing the opportunities that can come when you are open and willing and trusting the process and yeah, so since that, and then on top of that, even you messaging me, how crazy. I've
Exactly.
never done.
I wanted to say that. Like fun enough. I saw that video as well. Yeah, and it took me back to my surfing days, kinda. Yeah, I mean, it was like, because in Austria, you obviously can't. This was like, oh yeah, I would love to go surfing again.
Hey,
So uh, this was a
you
nice
should join.
thing, and now we're sitting here. Yeah, so because
Now
I'm
we're
just
sitting.
getting good for a week, and then I'm not surfing like for 2 years or 3 years. It's like.
Don't worry, I'll keep doing more retreats so we can keep practicing.
When you
But
hosted
yeah,
your first surf and or in general your retreats, and you had a group of strangers in front of you for the first time, for the last couple of times, and were responsible for them for having a great time, I guess, and then a good week. Um, did some stuff get wrong when what you didn't talk about yet, like online?
okay, well, get this actually. This is going to be my very first retreat ever. So
Oh,
I
okay,
haven't,
there you go.
the first one is November 28th. Um, so yes, I'm quite afraid. I hope it goes well. I hope everybody has a good time. But I also believe I think that everybody that's signing up has a similar mindset. And I've gotten a ton of messages saying, hey, like I'm actually a really bad surfer. I'm really nervous about doing this, but I think that's the beauty in it. I'm like, no,
Mm,
so am I. Like, together, like I think it's about bringing like-minded people together and meeting new people, and there's a little bit for everyone. It's all optional. If you're tired one day, you don't have to take a surf lesson.
mm.
You can wherever. You can go to Lisbon for the afternoon. We have way more involved, but yeah, I definitely, knock on wood, I hope it all goes well. Um, but no, I'm really excited about it. And so far I've had 8 people sign up and they all seem lovely. And so I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing trip. And I'm excited to see who I meet and how this impacts my future, their future. I just can't wait to get to know all these different people. It just makes me so excited.
I guess you will share it online anyway. Yeah, so I will follow that. I will follow the
Sounds
journey like online
good.
and dreaming about like the waves.
Yeah.
So also when people are on your like Instagram, you
Hmm.
can see like Mallorca and boats and sunshine and beach and sports and stuff. Yeah. But you told me you're like 24/7 type of person, yeah? Like working, working, working. So walk me through an actual working day behind those pictures, and because like this actually that's the podcast is all about. It's like not only these super fancy, crazy lifestyle pictures on Instagram. It's just
Uh,
a fraction of our work. Yeah? It's also the smallest fraction of all the work behind it. Yeah? So what's the actual working day hour by hour for you?
yeah. So for me, excuse me, it's my day, it varies. It depends. So the last 2 years, excuse
Don't
me.
get sick before the retreat.
I know, I know. I need some lemon ginger shots. But it was essentially every single day waking up and opening my laptop. Um, I would, on good days, have a workout class booked before then, so maybe 7 a.m. or something, and then do a class. But then I would be sitting at my laptop, and yeah, depending on where I was, it would entail a 4 hour day of being on my laptop, or it would be 10 hours. So sometimes I would wake up, be on my laptop, and go to bed with my laptop and shut it. So that's definitely not what you see on Instagram. And that is something I really do want to share more of, because that is the reality. And that, I don't want people to be dreaming about this life that's not real. And, it's always prettier on Instagram and picture perfect, but that there's so much that goes behind the scenes. There's a lack of routine. If I'm changing countries every 2 weeks, I think in the first year I went to 16 countries.
Mhm.
So I was nearly in a new country every 2 weeks. It was insane. But that means not much routine, not many workout classes. Where I'm sleeping is varying. What I'm eating, am I eating out? Am I trying to make home cooked things, which me personally, I love to meal prep. I love to cook. I love to juice, make smoothies, all these things. And so there's a lot behind the scenes. When I'm in Mallorca, just most recently, now that my job has ended,
Mhm.
I should have all of this free time. I should be able to be laying on the beach every day. But I think I was just telling a friend, I was like, I think I haven't been to the beach in a week and a half, and I'm in Mallorca. What am I doing? But it's because I'm excited about what's next. So, whether, these Instagram things that are picking up, they really excites me. And I enjoy going and sitting at a cafe for many, many hours on my computer working towards things that haven't even surfaced yet. I'm like, oh, okay, I found a space where maybe I could open a Legree studio.
Mm.
And then it's so much research. It's so much, um, behind the scenes, there's no money coming in from me messaging a architect to go and have a look at the space and doing all of these financial analyses of, what's going to work best if that occurs. But it's a lot of sitting at a cafe. It's a lot of random things. The last week and a half, in all honesty, I was living on a boat. I was living on a boat parked in the yacht club, but it's not so picturesque. There was a cockroach one night and it freaked me out. um so it's not always this luxury Instagram picture perfect life. Like I'm waking up, I get out of the boat by 9 a.m. because it's rented out. I sit at a cafe, I work for as many hours, but working to me, it's working on passion projects. It's like a hobby. Like I love to put my time and energy and towards something that I could create that could help others and building a community. And what next retreat could I do? What are people craving and how could I help support people? So just this past week, I opened these one-on-one consults because I've received so many messages about people asking, how did you get there? What were your finances like? How did you figure out the visa process? What's this? And like, what were the biggest hurdles? How did you overcome them? And I just think there's so many people in the same boat. And so I want to provide as much insight and support and build a community around this and help people to realize that growth is not scary. And if it doesn't work out, it's a learning opportunity. It's not a failure. Having this wonderful mindset and will get you far. So it entails a lot of I don't knows, and I'm not sure what's next or what my day will look like, but it's about consistency. So every day I will sit at my laptop and say, what can I do to help further me reach a passion, a career, a project that I have. So it's not beach days and boats and sunshine all the time. I wish. But no, it's exciting and I like it. It's sitting at cafes and it's grinding and it's having a lot of things and a lot of people wanting to go on boats or do whatever they want to do. But I choose to sit and work on my laptop and yeah, so it takes sacrifice, but I think sacrifice is important when you're working towards something greater and you have to make important choices and it depends what you want in life. And every day on a boat, it's not for me. I want something that impacts others and that impacts me and has a positive, yeah, role and influence. So we'll
Yeah, I
see.
mean, there's always this saying like you have to start even if you're not ready. But I'm also more the person who like preps a lot and really comes out like full on.
Mm,
Maybe for sure, maybe it takes a little longer to come out with the idea, but then it's built already and it's proved and it's tested and stuff. And then it gets really fast. So it accelerates on the spot.
mhm,
I'm not the guy like putting it out there and see how it's going and then change it and this and that. I don't know. I'm much of an perfectionist for this, I guess. So.
mhm. Yeah.
So you also have like recent post on your Instagram. It's like let's be real about romanticizing life. How
Mhm.
much do you think? What's the difference between romanticizing and real? I mean, and also how much of romanticizing do you think it's is important for such a life, for such a
Yeah.
career
Mhm.
to come forward or whatever?
Yeah, it's funny because I was seeing all of these posts about how it's so important to romanticize life, and I do
Mm,
think it is important as well. I think there's a balance to it, but I think there's so much of it on Instagram and online of
mm,
romantic. Oh, my day on a boat. Oh, like my beautiful acai bowl and my workout, and this is the day of the life, and so a lot of it is romanticized beyond the reality, beyond
mhm,
what happens behind closed doors, the sitting on the laptop, the grinding, the nonstop work. And I do see the beauty and the value and you know what, making my morning coffee and I want to have a moment to myself, sit down and
mm,
really enjoy it. I
yeah.
think this important. It's more of romanticizing life, but also in a way that you get to wow, my voice. I hope I'm not getting sick. But it's just taking time to enjoy the small things and celebrate the little things and enjoy the moments in every day, because life goes so quickly so often. Forget to just enjoy that sip of coffee, enjoy every bite of this meal, and take a moment to think about it and to be present in that moment. So that's what I really love about romanticizing life, and that whole culture behind it is really just focusing on being present and in the moment and enjoying it, enjoying the journey, not just the end goal or destination. But there's also something to be said about over romanticizing life, where you're masking and hiding the realities behind it, you know. So I think for every person there is a balance, and being present is so important, but not striving for goals and dreams that are unrealistic. And not necessarily, you can strive for anything, but it's more about, is this life a life you actually want? Or is this what you see on Instagram and it looks perfect, but is that necessarily the reality? So I think it's just being aware.
That's actually my biggest struggle with documenting my life online, because I don't want to stop my life just to take a picture of something, yeah, because I'm like, oh, I could put this on Instagram, yeah, but why? For what? Yeah, it's just for me. Okay, sure. I mean, I see it, I save it in my head. That should be
Yeah.
enough most of the time, I guess. But then I was like, oh, the light is great and this and that. And yesterday, I mean, I think you saw it too. The story I made was like gym at this time. Then after that, I run, and then I went on the motorbike. Like I curated like this story with three different pictures from three different times and this and that, and like, oh, the lighting and this and that. That's the story
It
from
looked
all of
great.
it. It's like, yeah, it looks great, but why though? You know, I mean, I was there, so that's for me is like crazy, and I really have to like push myself to put something online, because I'm like, okay, my work, sure, because it's my portfolio, and people should see my work, that I get paid jobs from that.
Yeah.
But my personal life, I don't know. I mean, even the
Yeah.
older I get, the less I want it. Yeah, and like you say, to celebrate the small things. Yeah, I'm way better in this, like morning coffee or silence in the morning. Yeah, it's like perfect. Just a little jazz in the background or something like that. It's like I want to have like 7 days a week a chill Sunday morning. That's my dream. And that's what I'm working for.
Love
And
it.
but my problem also is to really celebrate and appreciate big things, to be
Mm.
honest, because for me it's like, I don't know, I really was able to do a lot of stuff in my lifetime. Sounds like I'm 50 already, but um, I did a lot of cool stuff because of opportunities, and being in Berlin, for 7 years, and also be at the right time, at the right place at the right time. What was like Berlin, because all the Instagram stuff started there, in this timeline, and I was able to do a lot of stuff with one of my best friends back then, with all his influencer stuff. I was just this creative person behind it, and photograph and videograph and stuff. And now I saw so much, and did so much, that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I did that now, and it's fine. It's like check, and perfect. And I get a lot from people like, yeah, but why then don't you? It's cool. Why don't you see it? It's like, yeah, but I mean, I did this like 5 times already. I guess it's routine now. I mean, I guess it's still great things to achieve some of those things, but for me, it's like, and it's so stupid to say it like that, because it's like, other people are, yeah, I wish I would have it like once. I'm like, yeah, I know I should appreciate it more, but it's really hard
Hmm.
for me to do that.
Yeah, it's difficult for sure. It's always taking a step back and
Mm,
away from life and looking at it. And the gratitude is so
yeah.
important. The appreciation.
Also, I just want to
Yeah,
have my little house in Sicily with my olive trees, yeah, and then that's what I want. So living like this.
I love it. Yeah, very good life. It doesn't have to be so big and
No.
extravagant. Just a simple life, whatever makes you happy.
When I
Yeah,
was way young, I always wanted like a city loft, yeah, like in New York, like penthouse loft and this and that, uh, and I always was no, I don't want to have a mansion. It's fine if I just have a penthouse. I was like
yeah.
delusional. I was like, and,
I've totally been there.
yeah, and now it's
Oh,
like I just want to have peace and quiet and my coffee in the morning. Is like perfectly
okay,
fine. I don't care. But I
totally.
think
And
it's
that,
also like you have to get older for some of those realizations.
yeah, for sure. It takes time. You have to get to a point where that you realize what your real end goals are. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the whole thing with this Instagram too. I came to the realization at one point, I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I
Mm,
posting? Like,
mm,
why? Similar to you. And then I get a DM, a message from someone saying, "Hey, I'm so inspired by this shift and this change you've made. You know, you've
mm,
had such a positive impact just watching your growth and your story." And it doesn't take 1,000 people. It's one message makes it feel worth it to me. I'm like, if I can have a positive impact on one person, that's all I need. That makes my day. I love these messages. They bring me so much joy. And if I can encourage and inspire others, even if it's just one person, I'll post it. That's why.
can
I
you
just,
in this moment like take a step back and see it the same way? Like, oh yeah, I guess this could inspire someone or motivate someone.
yeah.
Because for
And I
you, it's
think,
your life. It's like just
yeah,
putting out whatever.
yeah. And I think it's important to always circle back to the why. Why are
Mm,
you doing this? What is your purpose? What is your intention? Is it a positive intention? Is it for money and growth and all of these, whatever it is, you know? But circling back to what your why is. So my why so far has just been to inspire and to help other people get there and know that change is possible and that, you know, feel like they have the tools and resources or at least help them get there. So um yeah, but it's really important to step away from the moment because it can be overwhelming. I'm like, oh man, did I post enough? Did I overpost? What is this? I'm still new to this whole Instagram world and I can get in my head too and trial and error. I think you just go with the flow, do what feels right. Your
mm.
intuition is, yeah, those gut feelings, they mean something. So,
About doing something that feels right. I saw that, or actually, I read in your last Q&A, I guess, or some post that you were told so many times that you should model, and you tried it once or twice, I guess,
mhm,
and
mhm.
then you stopped. Where's that? I mean, there are so many people. I guess that's the whole dream of them, huh?
Yeah, also, yeah, it is the dream of so many people and so many of these things are and again it's back to your why and it's so
Mm,
subjective. Everybody has a different goal and different dreams and life experiences. And so growing up, yeah, I got asked quite often to be a model or why haven't I modeled or I should for this specific company and giving me cards. And the thing was for me is I actually hated to hear that. I did not like to receive that. And I know so many people strive to receive like that. It's such a compliment and it truly is. It's really I want to say such a thing, but I didn't want to be regarded and valued for my looks. I wanted to be seen as hardworking and
mm,
driven and motivated and intelligent and kind and so much more. I wanted um, I feared that if I modeled, then everything would be about the way that I look. And I really didn't want to put so much value on that. And yeah, I could very easily look back and say, oh, what a life I could have had, and where would I be today had I pursued modeling and done these different things. But again, I think that everything does happen for a reason. And I think I was also very young, and my older sister did model, and she had, after many, many, many years of modeling, in the end, it was not such a positive experience. And I think at the time, the modeling industry was difficult, and there was a lot behind closed doors that people don't see. You just see beautiful people in these photos that come out, but the experience is in the background. And so my family and my mom kind of had this idea, like, we're not going to do modeling. None of my kids are going to be models. And I was very much bad, because I was like, I don't want to be a model. Like, I don't want people to see me and compliment me on my looks. I want to be valued for so much more than that. And but then I did get into it because it would be like a hairstylist that I know, or like a mutual friend would, and then I want to support their projects. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, I would love to. And I always did it for free, and it was super fun. I had photographer friends, and doing it for people that I knew it was always going to be a fun thing and have a positive experience. And so that's when I got really into it, and I was doing it more and more. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could make a career out of this. Like, what's the harm in the side hustle? And, like having a little like money coming in here and there from different things. So I did end up signing with an agency. That was, I want to say, 3 years ago. And the thing is, I went to a few castings, and I compared myself to the other girls that were there, and I was just like, well, I'm not here because this is my career path. This is not what, if they choose me for this audition or this role, that's great. But some people are working so hard for this position. And I didn't want to be in that situation where, I guess I had a bit of a fear mentality that, like, why would you choose me if these people have been doing it for so long and different things? But I came to realize shortly after that, these auditions are a lot of work. It's a lot of time. You go and you don't know whether you're going to get the gig. I'm driving to Toronto here, and it's a lot. And if this isn't my end goal, if I'm doing this for fun, I think it was just taking a bit too much time out of my day. And there were quite the restrictions, you cannot I can't just decide tomorrow I want to chop my hair. What if I want to chop my hair? So yeah, it was not something that I was very serious about. I just wanted to do it for fun, if it meant supporting friends or mutual friends and their projects. And yeah, but I think it is a fun thing, but not for me.
I mean, social media isn't really known for the best mental platform, though. Yeah, so you're still comparing yourself to other girls or other people.
Yeah, for sure. It's very difficult. It's the whole Instagram versus reality. It's crazy. But growing up, I always had, my sisters and my mom always told me, comparison is the thief of joy. So I've always had that. That is like a value and something I've held my whole childhood, because it's so easy to compare. And the thing about the looks too is people would compare and say, oh, you look so good today. And it's always a negative thing. So I was always comparing. And that's why I just didn't want to be known or associated, or I didn't want that to be the way I was valued. And comparison is very difficult, because someone else would be doing what you're doing, and that's their dream, and I'm not doing it, and I have the opportunity to choose not to. And so it's difficult, but it's also important to, I think the best thing you can do is see someone else's growth and be inspired by it and be motivated by it and encourage them to reach their greatest potential. And every path, every timeline, every person has a different journey and different goal. And I think that it's just super important to recognize that we both applied for this position. that person got it,
Yeah.
I'm super happy for this person. I hope that they find success and happiness. And I think that people need to really try their best to not compare because, and if they're going to compare, then see the beauty and why there are differences.
Also, I guess looks, I mean, being a photographer since like the past, I don't even know, 15 years, I guess. Like looks are just personal taste most of the time. It's like
True. Totally.
it's crazy to compare yourself if especially if you don't get a model job, yeah, because it's just business
Mhm.
decision. Yeah? There's no personal whatsoever. Yeah? So it's not, oh, you're not the look we are looking for. Yeah? Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's just a business decision. Yeah? You can't do anything about that. It's just
It's
these are the clothes, so that's the job, and we need this person. So it's already, they already know what the person should look like. So you can't do
Mhm.
anything about that.
Exactly. It's kind of like if you go, I have this great analogy, but if you're going and is there an ice cream flavor that you don't like? Is
Me?
there one? Yeah.
Um, Actually, I don't know. Mint, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people, there's one ice cream flavor they probably don't like as much as others. And why? Why don't you like it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
sure. Yeah.
It's
It's
just
also
not really,
it's with everything in life. It's like with cars. It's with
yeah.
even everything. Real estate, everything. It's like colors. Name
You
it.
don't have to be able to explain it. It's just
Yeah.
like something, everybody, it's subjective. What one person likes will be different to what the next person likes. And
Funny enough, one of my stylist friends, he always sends me on Instagram some looks, and he's like,
yeah.
"That's so you," and I'm like, "That's so not me." Yeah, I wouldn't wear this anywhere. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, we should try it on." I'm like, "Nah, yeah, that's not me. Yeah, that's no."
It's
So that's so fun. Yeah, how different people see you.
interesting.
Yeah, compared to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
That's
It's
also
so
a
great.
thing because you see yourself every day. You see all of the little marks and things that you don't like about yourself. But especially me, because I wear glasses normally, I don't see them. So, so
Ugh.
people just like spend an hour with you, maybe, or if you're in an office, like maybe 8 hours, but still they don't really look the same at you like you look at you. So
Mhm.
it doesn't really like it's not
Yeah.
even possible to really compare yourself with other, because it doesn't even
You
matter.
shouldn't. Yeah. My friend also asked me recently, a few days ago, she asked me, how would you describe me in
Mhm.
three adjectives? And I was like, ooh, what an interesting question. And so I gave her these three adjectives. And then I asked her, what three adjectives would you give yourself?
Mhm.
And it's so interesting because, this might be your sibling or your best friend,
Mhm.
but the way you see yourself is, yeah, there's always some different ways, and no matter how well you know someone, there's more to it, and
Mhm.
that's the beauty of getting to know people and all the differences and taking the time. But yeah, I think it's really cool to to have this mindset shift and just be
Mhm.
aware the way you perceive someone, you think they're having the best life, and but doesn't mean that they are and they feel this way. And it's just so also to be empathetic and
Mhm.
compassionate towards every and kind to every person you meet. If someone at the cafe and the bakery is mean and isn't the most friendly, maybe they're having a hard day. Maybe that means they need a little extra love from you, even if it's hard to give because but I think it's always just, yeah, being aware and putting yourself in other people's shoes and think that perspective.
Or maybe you're just in Vienna in a casual coffee house. Yeah, so like they're all
Maybe.
grumpy there. Yeah, so but that's
Never know.
just us. Yeah, that's just us.
Still deserve loving.
That's our culture. That's part of travel, I guess.
Yeah.
So you also you were like you told me your perfect day, I guess. Yeah, you were like, yeah, that's how my day looks when on a good day, yeah. But what happens on a bad day? I mean, I think although you're living on a boat, yeah, and on the beach and in Marbella and stuff, yeah, there
Yeah.
because we are like about realness.
Yeah.
I guess there will be also like bad days or bad weeks, though.
Hmm. For sure. Absolutely, there are often because I can definitely stress myself out trying to do all of these different things all at once. And for me, it's really about, if I have a bad day, it's about being consistent in a way. It's like, okay, maybe I need to take a break and do something good for me, whether it be going for a walk or doing a workout class. For me, that's an outlet. Like, I feel 100 times better if I have a moment of nourishing my body, and I don't do it for this body. I do it for my mind, for my soul, for everything. I need that time. And aside from that, I also have certain people that I can look up to and that I can call upon. As far as I am from Canada, the fact that I've moved to Europe now doesn't mean the people back home aren't still there and they're not
Mm,
still, and that we're not keeping in touch. So I'll call up my sister or a friend, and yeah, it's important to have people or things, places that bring you back to this like grounding mindset
mm,
of positive outlook. And okay, as much as this might be overwhelming, as much as I don't want to do this, let's think about a few things that I'm really grateful for. I have a roof over my head. Even if it's a boat. I have always something that you can be grateful for, and it's all about shifting your perspective and your mindset. But yeah, bad days happen, of course, and I'll get in a funk and I'll get overwhelmed and stressed, and it's tough, but doing something, then just making sure that you're also taking care of yourself. Did you sleep enough that night? Maybe you're just exhausted. Maybe you need a nap. Maybe, are you eating well? Are you all the different things? It's just, I think so many little things have such a big, larger impact on your life. And I think it's just to try to find that balance and consistency. And when you find yourself in a funk and stressed and overwhelmed, to to take a breath and realize, what all are you grateful for? Why, how far have you come? Look at where you are today, and don't stress over the things that you don't have control over. What am I going to do tomorrow, or what's my 5-year plan looking like? Oh man, no idea. Let's not stress about that though, because every day it's about enjoying the journey of getting there. And it's very easy for me to stress out about, okay, how am I gonna, like, where's my really, do I have a steady income at the moment? Not really. What's my 5-year plan? Do I know what city I want to live in? What country I want to live in? Not really, but that's okay. You know what? I'm enjoying the process and I'm trusting the process. And when I get into these, mindset shifts where I'm like,
mm.
okay, shoot, I I remember what my outlets are. I call up a friend and I'm like, dude, I'm stressed. Like, help me. And then they're like, all right, you're stressed. That's okay. You're allowed to be stressed too. It's just part of life. It means you care. It means that you have things on your mind, and that, um, yeah. But I think it's just trying to find what your outlets are. And,
Mm,
and I think so much is mindset. I think just fueling your body, nourishing your
mm.
body, taking care of it while also um, you know, making sure you get enough time with your friends, your social life, all the different things. And yeah, and do your best. That's all you can do.
I mean, although it sounds so cliche, and you read it all over like Instagram and I guess Pinterest is as well, I guess. Yeah, but this all this stress most of the time or anxiety or is because you're growing, yeah, and then you're
Mm,
close to the next step, yeah, that you're like, okay, it has to be uncomfy, yeah. It's like if it
really,
would be like easy, I mean, this also is like cliche, yeah? But if it's easy, everyone could do it, yeah. And then
it's true. Growing pains, they're an important
yeah,
part of you.
yeah. I mean, that's a fun thing you say. I mean, in my opinion, like, oh no, not my opinion. It's like how I work is I'm growing in pain, but there are a lot of people who are not growing in pain, they're growing with like gratitude and like happy faces and stuff. Yeah, like, oh, you have to be open. I'm like, I am open, but there's still pain. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just depends on the person. Some people are just so happy to go home, be done their job, wipe
Mm,
their hands clean of it, and it's not difficult. There's no stress,
mm,
there's no anxiety, there's a comfort level, and there's something beautiful about that. But
mm,
for you and I, perhaps, with these crazy ideas and, striving for, this entrepreneurial route, I guess, but there's no break to it. And there's a lot of growing pains, I would say. And because a lot of it's trial and error too. So let's see how this goes. And, it's learning by doing. And that's
mm.
not always easy. Um, but there's a beauty in that too. And so, yeah, it's, yeah, growing pains. Oh gosh, a lot of those. Yeah, goodness.
Um,
But
what would be the one thing you said today, or we discussed today, that you'll still be thinking about tomorrow too?
hmm. Um, Something that we said today that I'll still be thinking, well, I think maybe I didn't say it, but I'm saying it now, is to not take life too seriously. And it's more about enjoying the journey
Mm,
than about getting to this one destination. So I think that's something I try to remind myself too when I'm in a funk. And I'm like, you know what, today is hard, but growing pains. And, it's not about this overwhelming 5-year plan and where I'm going to end up, but it's about enjoying the journey. And because life should be fun. Life is for living. Life is for loving. Love life. Cliche.
I see it on the walls already. Huh?
I love, no, but truly, I think people overthink so much about life. And I think that you need to take a moment, step out of it. It's not that serious. Enjoy it. Enjoy your every day. If it doesn't go as planned, that's okay. There's always tomorrow. Just, yeah, I would say enjoying the journey and embracing the growing pains.
Well, I really enjoyed was this conversation with you. Yeah? I'm really happy that you were like the first person to do this with, like here, like online and in English as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gave it my
thank you.
best. Um,
Thank you.
and thank
I've
you
had
so
a
much.
great, yeah. I never thought I would be on a podcast episode, so you're pushing me out of my comfort zone
There
again,
you
and
go.
I'm great.
I I hope it wasn't that painful though. Yeah, but
Not at all. No,
but
it's
I thank
great.
you very much. I wish you all the best. I will continue to follow your journey. Yeah. And
Thank you
maybe I
so
will join you on a surf trip as well in the future.
much.
Yeah, let's see
Be
about
great to
that.
meet in
Yeah,
person.
absolutely.
Sounds
And other than
good.
that, I can just say thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
for being
A great
here,
rest.
for your
Thank
story,
you.
and hopefully see you again soon.
Definitely. Thank you.